Okay, hi everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Rena Levin. I'm the events coordinator at Nefesh B'Nefesh. This webinar is part of our pre-Aliyah planning series. Today's topic is Aliyah flights for summer 2025. So if you're joining us for this Zoom and you are planning on making Aliyah this summer, Mazal Tov. Hopefully everything will go smoothly. Today we'll be hearing from the Nefesh B'Nefesh Aliyah Flights Coordinator, Gila Harris. Gila, thank you in advance for joining for your presentation. We're also joined today by Mindy, an Aliyah advisor, and Aliza Graben, the Associate Director of Post Aliyah and Advocacy. So thank you both for joining us today. This presentation is live and it will be recorded. So after Gila presents, there will be time for Q&A. Keep in mind that there are over 100 of you and 4 of us, so your patience is greatly appreciated for the Q&A. And lastly, the webinar will be posted on the Nefesh B'Nefesh YouTube channel by tomorrow. You'll receive a follow-up email from Zoom with a link to rewatch it, along with any links, websites, contact information that Gila provides in the presentation. You can also watch on that YouTube channel all the other webinars on the Pre-Aliyah planning series that we've been hosting for the last several weeks. So I will send a link in the chat to that YouTube playlist shortly. Yeah, I think that's all the housekeeping. So without further ado, Gila, take it away.
Thanks, Rena. Hi, everyone. My name is Gila Harris. It's so nice to see. I see a lot of the names here. These are names that I recognize, so it's nice to see a lot of you here joining us. A little bit about myself. I made Aliyah 8 years ago. I started working at Nefesh B'Nefesh almost 8 years ago, and I've been working in the Aliyah Flights Department for 4 years. It's a huge pleasure and a huge honor. So I'm really excited to be working with everyone this summer as well. Okay, our webinar is just going to be a bit of a broad summary of how the flights work and what we do in our flights, and some frequently asked questions. So let's just get started. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. All right. You guys all see that? My screen? Okay. So the flights department is me and my colleague, Sarah. She's located in the US. I'm located in Israel. We work together. Some of the topics that we're going to be discussing are the flight process, bringing pets on Aliyah, upgrades and reimbursements, because a lot of people have questions about these. So a little bit about the Aliyah process. Make it full screen. Oh, I see. Sorry. Okay, a little bit about the Aliyah process. Once you finish your application and you've completed everything and you've submitted all your documents, you will then be getting Jewish agency approval after your interview and all that. Once you have Jewish agency approval, then your Aliyah file goes through an internal Nefesh B'Nefesh approval as well. And in that Nefesh B'Nefesh approval, once that is completed, we will then send you something called the Nefesh B'Nefesh flight form. And with that, you get to choose your flight, which is one of the most exciting parts of your Aliyah process. So after that, you're going to have to pay some fees, and then you're going to apply for your visa. And once that's complete, then we can confirm your flight. So it's pretty simple. We only fly from El Al hubs, which is JFK, Boston, Newark, LA, Miami. Toronto, we've been flying with Air Canada, but since for the past year and a half, Air Canada has not really been flying. So we have been asking all of the Olim from Canada to fly from New York or from Miami, wherever's easiest for them to get to. And they fly, then we can book them on a flight from the US. We do not assist with any connecting flights. That's not something that we can facilitate. If you do have to fly from a specific city to an LL hub, the responsibility is solely on the OLA. And you can see our flight schedule on the website. So the luggage allowance on LL, you are entitled to 2 bags at 50 pounds each on most flights, except for a charter flight, but we'll get to that. You're entitled to a personal item and a carry-on bag. Additionally, the third piece of luggage we can get for you at a discounted rate of $150. You have to let us know, and then we pay for it with through Alal, and you give us the money. The fourth and the fifth bags, $200, and we could get Alal to reach out to you in order to pay prepay, so that way it's more affordable, less expensive. Pets. Many of our Olim make Aliyah with pets. So a little bit about pets and the Aliyah process for them. Dogs and cats, they can fly in cabin, but they can only be up to 15 pounds. So if you have any animal that's over 15 pounds and needs to go under the plane, can go with the pet cargo holds. Service animals, though, can be any weight. It could be as big as it needs to be, and it could be on the plane in cabin. Pets do not count towards carry-on luggage. There's limited in-cabin seats designated for pets on a flight. So there's 2 seats only in cabin for pets. So it's really important once you decide what date you're making Aliyah, you let us know right away that you have a pet so we could book your pet in right away and make sure that it's not an issue and that we can get seats. We could get your pet seat. The charge for an in-cabin pet from LL is $150. And you need to make sure that you have all the proper documentation and all the proper allowances that's needed and the vaccinations, because there's a lot of things regarding bringing a pet. There's a lot of items that need to be taken care of beforehand. We do not facilitate that, and we don't really provide pet guidance. Bringing a pet is such an important thing, and we are not pet experts, so we would hate to misguide you. So it's really important to take the proper steps that you need to in order to make sure that you have a successful time bringing your pet on Aliyah. You can see here on the screen the Veterinary Services and Animal Health Ministry of Agriculture. You can be in touch with them with either of those links. They respond in English. You can speak to them in English. They're very responsive, and that should make it much easier for you. There are also different organizations that assist with this as well. There's something called Terminal for Pets. Some of our Olim have used them in the past. We can't really recommend any, but I just know the name Terminal for Pets they've used. So that's definitely worth looking into because they can be very helpful. Upgrades. Upgrades are really exciting. A lot of people want to know about upgrades. If you want to book Economy Plus or LL Space Seats, the price for that is $100, and we can do that for you. It's per person. We can do that for you. We're in touch with LL, and we can make that arrangement. If you want to book premium and business class, let's go to the next slide and you'll see. The step 1, you fill out the Nefesh B'Nefesh flight form. Step 2, you have to request an upgrade, meaning you have to email me or Sarah, the flights department, and let us know that you want an upgrade. We then will issue your ticket, and only then can we ask LL to reach out to you to discuss availability and prices. We can't do it before. It has to be once your ticket has been issued, and then they reach out and they discuss what's available and how much it costs. Once that's completed, then the upgrade's complete, and we'll send you a new ticket. Reimbursements. If you choose to book your own flight, you will likely not be reimbursed. If there's an extreme circumstance that would require a reimbursement, we do have a reimbursement committee that's going to review the appeal and make a decision. But if you do book your own flight, you should do it with the expectation of not being reimbursed, because most Olim are not reimbursed. Additionally, if the appeal is approved and you can be reimbursed, you're only going to be reimbursed up to $450. That's the most reimbursement that an OLEC can get. Okay, and that is the end of our broad overview of flights. Now, I'm assuming there might be some questions. Let me know if you have any questions, and I don't know what's the best way to do this, Rena. Raise your hand or.
Do you have, can you see the Q&A?
Oh, I lost my mouse. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yes. Oh,
Bottom.
great. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Let's answer some of these. Can, can you clarify the fees, fines if the Aliyah flight has to be changed or postponed? The email was unclear. It depends on the situation. It depends on how close to the flight it is. It depends if your ticket has been issued already. So these types of situations are really on a case-by-case basis. If you're talking about something specific for you, you can feel free to email us, flights@nbn.org.il, and we can help you. We can then guide you. Okay, does anybody have info about bringing medical equipment on a flight? Again, case by case basis, it depends what it is that you need to bring, how big it is, the dimensions of whatever it is. So if you're already booked on a flight, email us, let us know what it is you're bringing, let us know the dimensions of it, the weight of it, and then we can be in touch with LL and get an answer. Okay. Can one bring a small lizard and a tails rail either on an Aliyah flight or personal flight? Good question. I'm not 100% sure. We mostly deal with dogs and cats. I don't know about a small lizard. I will look into it. And when it's your turn, when it's your time to make Aliyah, or if you've already booked your flight, email us and let us know. And we could be in touch with LL to get an answer. Okay, Simcha. What happens if you want to bring 5 suitcases each? However, you are flying into the Newark hub. Does Nefesh B'Nefesh pay? Sorry, the luggage and arrange? No, if you want to bring 5 suitcases each, you're going to have to pay for that additional luggage from wherever you're flying from. So if you're flying from Chicago to Newark and you're bringing 5 suitcases, you're going to have to take that into account because we do not cover that expense. Okay. Can we pay for extra legroom seats on a charter flight? I'm assuming that, which speaking of, I don't know where that slide went. We should go over the different flights that we have. We have something called a flex flight, which is essentially basically a flight that is not listed on our calendar. It's if somebody needs a specific date, it's not listed on our calendar, we can then be in touch with LL to see if there's availability on that specific flight, but it's just going to be you making the Aliyah that day, maybe one other person. So something to keep in mind. If you want to come on a cluster flight, that's a flight less than 40. That's a 40 or less flight, Olim flight. A group flight has 40 or more, and it's staffed by Nefesh B'Nefesh. So there's Nefesh B'Nefesh staff in JFK as well as on the plane and in Ben Gurion, and we're there to assist throughout the processing. And a charter flight is when the entire plane is all Nefesh B'Nefesh Olim. We're having one this year on August 19th, so that's really exciting. Can you pay for extra legroom seats on a charter flight? No, charter flight has, you can't request seating. It's if you have a specific request, you can let us know and we could take it into account when we're creating seating, but we cannot make any guarantees. So if you need to sit in a specific seat, keep that in mind when you're requesting the charter or not the charter. Okay, what's the process of requesting reasonable accommodations for the flight? Okay, I'm not sure exactly what you mean by this. However, if you mean, if you want to sit in an aisle seat or a window seat, you can let us know and we can, if there's something available, we can put you in those seats. If you want to bring a guitar, again, let us know. We can let you know how to do that as well. Any sort of questions that you have, don't ever hesitate to ask. We'd be more than happy to help. We might not always be able to facilitate it, but we can almost always guide you and give you resources as to who to ask and where to go. If the flight dates don't align with your calendar, what do you suggest? Again, we have something called flex flights, that if there's no flight within 10 days of your, requested flight date, then we could be in touch with El Al to discuss if there's another option and availability on a different date. My son has special needs and can't fly by himself. Okay, Livana, I would suggest you email us, flights@nbn.org.il, once you have Aliyah approval, and we can be in touch. We can be in touch with you specifically and your situation. Okay, what is the basic fee for 2 people? I'm not sure what fee you're referring to, but if it's, there's a few fees involved. There's the Aliyah flight fee, which is $70 per person. In families over 5 people, it's the 5th person, and past that, it's $50 each. Additionally, the upgrade fee is $100 per person for economy plus space seats. Premium and business, we don't know. We're not sure. It's whatever's available, and El Al tells you. I hope that answers that question. Okay. Yes, great question by Holly. If you want a 3rd piece of luggage, let us know. We're going to send you the PayPal link in order to pay for that 3rd piece of luggage. We then let El Al know that you want a 3rd piece of luggage, and then it's going to be on your ticket. You might not see it on your ticket, but once you go to check in, it will show up in El Al's system. Nathan, you have a pet and you want to upgrade. Email us and we can see what we can do in terms of your upgrade with your pet. Hi, Patricia. Okay. Flying from Toronto is a bit different. So if you have that specific question, email us and we will let you know. But yeah, it's a different situation because Air Canada is not currently flying. So just email us. Okay, how do we upgrade to Economy Plus? You let us know that you wanna fly Economy Plus. We will then send you the fee, and then we can do it for you. You don't have to do it through Allow. We can facilitate it for you. Okay, the situation with taking specific batteries on board, we don't know. Once you're booking your flight, again, email us and we can look into it with Allow and we could help you facilitate that. Okay, LL Matmeed status upgrades. That's a great question. You can give us your Matmeed number when you're making Aliyah. We can add it to your file. However, I don't believe that you'll get upgraded. You can't upgrade on an Aliyah flight with Matmeed points, but you can get points from the Aliyah flight. Okay, what is the price range if you arrange the flight for us in economy? I'm not sure 100% what you mean. You don't have to pay. If you want to fly in economy, you don't have to pay. We book your flight free of charge if you filled out that form. If you followed the Jewish agency's instructions regarding the flight, we would then book it for you for free of charge. However, if you buy your own ticket, you have to let us know your itinerary. I am paying for my ticket, so is the upgrade for her 100 as well? Yes, usually all economy plus is $100. You would have to confirm that with Alal, but I believe it should be $100. Okay, I was charged $600 for a 3rd suitcase for 2 people, a pet. Based off what you said, it sounds like I was overcharged. Did I miss something? I recommend emailing us, let us know, send us your receipts, and we could try to help you figure it out. I assume there's no wheelchair accessibility restroom on all flights. My son is paraplegic and needs help using bathroom 4 times a day, which makes a nonstop flights as impossible to access through bathroom. Okay, for this also, I suggest emailing us and we can help you, we can see what options are available for you. No, on a charter flight, we do not have bodies. So it's never an issue for Kohanim. To clarify, if we have a pet in cabin, we can still have one carry-on and one personal item in addition. Yes, if you have a pet in cabin, you can still have a carry-on and one personal item in addition. That's not an issue. When flying into one of the hub locations, it is possible to book a ticket where my luggage will be checked all the way through. Great question. Unfortunately, the answer is no. We don't have any sort of booking deal with the airlines to get to have your luggage be checked all the way through, unfortunately. So you're gonna have to recheck your bags. No, you cannot bring a third bag on a charter flight. However, on a charter flight, you are able to get your luggage can be 70 pounds each for each bag, and you're entitled to 2 bags. So it's 140 pounds of luggage that you're entitled to. Are upgrades possible available at all, even if you have a small, well-behaved 5-pound dog? Best to email us when you're in the situation. We can be in touch and see it, because I know LL does sometimes place dogs in Economy Plus. So be in touch. Okay, I have a refrigerated medicine on a flight. Does this have to be covered by our carry-on and personal item, or is this an exception for this like medical equipment? Again, I think it's best to email us regarding this question because it's a personal question. We need to be in touch with LL specifically about what the item is and how big it is, what it requires, things like that. So just best to be in touch and email us. Okay, someone had a question regarding assisting regarding someone who is physically disabled, if we cover the ticket of the person that's caring for him on the flight, or will help guide him once, be his guardian once he's here. No, we only can facilitate flights with Olim. So if you're not an Ole, no. However, in these situations, it's possible that sometimes we would say book your own flights. That way we can make sure that you're sitting with your guardian and you're taken care of, and we could reimburse you $450. That's not every case. That's only some cases. So again, best to be in touch. Okay. Okay, someone wanted to know about the upgrades on a cluster flight. Upgrades on a cluster flight are $100. So keep that in mind. Regarding passport pictures, be in touch with your Aliyah advisor. There's different needs for different passport pictures. Sometimes you need a passport picture for your Teudat Zehut. Sometimes you need your passport picture for your visa. So for different things you need it, it's best to be in touch with your Aliyah advisor about that. If I paid for a third bag but do not end up needing it, can it be refunded? No. If your ticket has been issued, then no, it can't be refunded. If it hasn't been issued, then let us know as soon as possible and we can try to get it done for you. We can try to refund it for you. Does the third piece of luggage need to be under 50 pounds as well? Yes. All luggage needs to be under 50 pounds. Please address the services provided by NBN prior to the flight and upon arrival in Israel.
We can have, if Mindy and or Lisa want to.
We can't hear you, Rena.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Aliza, Mindy, if you want to discuss that, because I think it is helpful, even though we're trying to keep this webinar focused on the flights, but I think that is an important question.
Okay, I'll take this one. Thanks. Hi, everyone. until your flight, you have your Aliyah advisor that's really there to assist you with everything, every step along the way through the approval. And then you're in touch with the flights department with arranging your flights and all the details relating to the specific flight. Once you land in Israel, if you're on the charter or a group flight, you're met by Nefesh B'Nefesh staff that will be at the airport to assist. And you'll also be introduced to the post-Aliyah team that is going to be there to assist you with everything that happens after you land in Israel. We have a Zoom that we do every week on Sunday for all the Olim who made Aliyah in this past week, where we go over all the steps happening after you arrived. You'll be getting at the airport. If you're an Oleh Chadash, you'll get your Teudat Oleh and Teudat Zehut at the airport. If you have an Israeli status, you'll be getting just your Teudat Zekaut, and not a Teudat. Again, it depends on the flight and the different services. But we do a Zoom every week for the Olim who came in this past week to go over all the steps. If it's booking appointments, if it's getting your healthcare card, if it's opening your bank account, whatever services and whatever you need in order to get settled, we do all that. You're in the good hands of the post-Aliyah team throughout the way. There's no limit into how many times to reach out to us or how far along after your Aliyah. You should just know that we have you covered before, during the Aliyah flight process itself, and also after.
Thanks so much, Aliza.
Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and continue with some of these questions. Is there going to be flights later than August 27th? And is there any different experience for lone soldiers? We are having a lone soldier flight on September 2nd. So we highly recommend you join that. I don't know if the experience will be much different, but however, there will be a ton of other lone soldiers with you on the plane. And yes, there will be flights later than August 27th because the lone soldier flight is September 2nd. So
For that
I have
question, I'm gonna just put the for whoever asked that question, I'm gonna if you're not already in touch with the Lone Soldier program through Nefesh B'Nefesh, we're happy to put you in touch with them. Carry on.
okay. I have 2 bags that I've weighed and they may exceed 50 pounds. What's the excess charge? We always tell people instead of having an overweight piece of luggage, just bring a third suitcase because they're probably going to be the same amount of money anyway. It's probably going to be, it might even be more expensive to have overweight. Okay. Please read questions clearly for us listening in that maybe, sorry about that. I do tend to speak fast sometimes. Okay. Okay, you have a pet stroller. I think we would need to know the dimensions and the weight before we can give you an exact answer. So be in touch with regarding your pet stroller and we could figure it out with you. Okay, on a charter flight, can we bring car seats or strollers on the flight? And is that considered a carry-on item? No, it is not considered a carry-on item. You can bring a car seat and a stroller for each child. We are scheduled to be on the July 23rd flight. We are working with Terminal for Pets for Our Dogs. Do you know if someone checks on the pets during the flight? I actually don't know. I would imagine, I actually don't know. I'm not sure. I would recommend calling Aliyah and they could probably tell you. Okay, we were going to store luggage at JFK since we're coming in a day or two before. Do you have any recommendations on this or do you not advise for any reason? I don't have enough experience with people storing luggage at JFK, so I really don't know how to guide you on this one. But we do have an Aliyah, Making Aliyah This Year Facebook group, which you might be a part of. You can definitely ask in there because it's asking a whole bunch of other Olim that have made Aliyah or that are making Aliyah this year, and it can be a great resource to ask these questions. That's for everybody, but especially this question.
I'm gonna post a link to that Facebook group in the chat for anyone to get on that.
Okay. After requesting a flight from the form, how long will it take to hear back with a confirmation of the flight? Once you fill out the flight request form, we will get back to you within 24 hours, if not less, and then we'll tell you the next steps. So it depends how fast it takes you to complete all those steps in order to be confirmed. once you pay the fees and give us the information we need, you can be confirmed within 5 minutes, but it also can take as long as a few days. Are there quantity restrictions for medications? I'm wanting to bring a 90-day supply of prescription medications. Email us about this and we can look into it and get back to you. If I must upgrade to economy premium because of physical limitations, how much extra does that cost? And how can I be guaranteed that I will get it? There's no such thing as, we can't guarantee anything because we don't know if it'll be available or not. LL will have to be in touch with you and they can let you know if there's anything available. Okay, some flights from Newark to Israel are closed. Is there any chance that there will be cancellations and seats will be available? If so, if we have booked a later flight, can this be changed? Is there a chance there will be cancellations? I don't foresee seats being available. And if you have already booked your flight and your flight, we've issued your ticket, you can only change your flight for a fee. Okay. When will September flights be posted? Great news, Robert. September flights were posted. They were posted last week. They're on the website and they're on the flight request form. Okay. Are any summer JFK flight group ones? I see the charter one. Most of them are Newark. I don't think that we have any group flights from JFK in the summer, in the months of July and August. Most of them are from Newark.
I think there's one or two. I'm gonna take another look and I'll send it in
Yes.
the.
Thanks,
send it
Rena. Who exactly to talk to make sure to have accurate fix and vaccines for service dog? My advisor, you guys are Alal. Is there a number for Alal if I need to talk to them? Regarding your vaccines, I would recommend that you're in touch with here, I'll post it on the screen again. With the veterinary services, they might be able to help you with that. Here's their contact information. They might be the best people to contact. Okay. Once I have approval from the Jewish agency, I can book, or is there something else I'm not aware of? Once you have approval from the Jewish agency, you can book. There's a few things, there are a few steps in between. You have to follow the instructions very closely regarding what the Jewish agency had sent you regarding the flight. So keep that in mind. They'll let you know how to go about booking a flight. And then, like I said before, there's also an internal Aliyah process, that internal Aliyah approval process, which is just by Nefesh B'Nefesh, making sure that you have all the documents you need, making sure you have all the information needed to make sure that you have the most successful Aliyah possible. Okay. The website only shows flights through the end of August. That's going to change very soon. It should have been up already, but it is on our flight form. So once you have Aliyah approval, it will be there. Okay, can you please address the prescription medication question again? Is there a limit? Be in touch with us directly, because we could ask LL. We'll let you know. Yes, there are flights within the first week of September. There's a flight on September 9th. I think there's a flight on September 15th as well. There are flights. Do you know if the charter flight on August 20th is one that is for lone soldiers? You can absolutely join the flight. You can feel free to join our flight on the 19th, which is arriving on the 20th. We'd be happy to have you. When you have Aliyah approval, just request it. Okay. Please tell people if they already have their visa and they fly into Israel prior to their flight, that flight is considered their Aliyah date. Okay, thank you. If you have your Aliyah visa, and it's in your passport, the first flight that you take to Israel will be considered your Aliyah flight. So keep that in mind. Do not fly to Israel unless you are making Aliyah. We are anxiously awaiting approval for our flight. Should we be worried there may be no room left for the August 19th? As of right now, there's still availability. Be in touch with your Aliyah advisor. Make sure that she knows that you would like to participate in the charter flight. And yeah, hopefully when you're ready to book, there will still be availability. Okay. All pet questions, I think you should just email us, flights@nbn.org.il. And because each pet is a different, a case-by-case basis, so email us regarding your pet questions. Okay, how many passengers do you have now for the July 15th group flight? I don't remember offhand. I will look into it. You can email me and I can let you know. Okay, any other questions? Can you talk about charter versus group? Sure. The group flight is a flight of 40 or more olim, usually 60 olim, that Nefesh B'Nefesh will staff that flight. Nefesh B'Nefesh will meet you at Newark or JFK. They'll be with you on the flight as well, and then they will be with you throughout processing. It's smaller than the charter, and it is a great option for families, for singles, for retirees. It's a great option. The charter flight is also an awesome option. It's a larger ceremony. It's the entire plane is all olim, and there's a large production after as well. There's a ceremony and there's dancing, and it's a longer day, and it takes a bit longer to get processed, but it's a great option, and it's also a really special opportunity. Both are really special, and both once you're in that position, if you want to choose a charter versus group flight, I'm happy to jump on the phone and chat with you and figure out which one would be best for you and your family. I was told I'll allow 3 bags. Has this changed recently to only 2? No. Within the past few years, it's been only 2 bags. I think like 10 years ago, it was 3 bags, but it's always been 2 bags. Can you email out the max amount of medication allowed because this affects a lot of people? Sure. Email me about your medication questions and I'd be happy to email you. Is there a downside to going on a cluster flight? No, I think it's important to be in touch with your Aliyah advisor, because if you have a previous Israeli status, such as if you're an Ezrach-Oleh or Katin Hoser, just be in touch with them about what that would mean regarding going on a cluster flight. If we were approved by Alal for an upgrade to premium economy or business class, is the upgrade, oh, I just lost it. Is the economy fare that NBN pays for reimbursed? I lost it again. Or is the upgraded ticket discounted by the economy fare amount? It might be discounted a bit, but I don't believe so. I don't know how Alal does their pricing. So I'm not 100% sure about that question. Is there a way to reserve a seat on a desired flight if all I'm waiting for is one document? Great question. We are not able to reserve any seats on flights. You can put in your flight preference, that way we know that's what you want. However, that's not the same as reserving a seat. We are unable to reserve seats. Okay. What is the process not on a charter or group? If not on a charter or group, that would mean it's a cluster or a flexible flight. Be in touch with your Aliyah advisor about what that would mean for you in your specific situation. Your Aliyah advisor would be able to best guide you. Okay. Are there going to be Nefesh B'Nefesh reps on a lone soldier cluster flight? No, there might be Nefesh B'Nefesh representatives meeting you in the airport, but I don't believe that they will be on the flight itself. Because my wife is a returning citizen, I'm told we will not be processed at the airport. Can you elaborate on this? You should be in touch with your Aliyah advisor about what that entails and what that means.
Aliza is answering that one. That's more post Aliyah.
Great. Our families guaranteed to sit together. As long as there are seats available, we do everything we can to make sure that you're sitting together. If you will not be seated together, then we will let you know beforehand, and we'll give you the option if there's availability in Economy Plus. You could switch to Economy Plus. So what does that mean for when we land? I had tech issues logging in the beginning. Lauren, I'm not sure what exactly you are referring to, so feel free to email us and we can catch up whatever it is that you missed. Okay, are there any other questions? Are we able to request an aisle or window specifically? Yes, absolutely. Let us know what you prefer. We can do our best to accommodate. However, we can't guarantee anything, but we can do our best to accommodate. Okay, any other questions?
I see someone just asked again about the cluster flight. So we've answered this a few times. If you missed it, I apologize. We are recording this webinar, so we're happy to share the link with you tomorrow. You'll get an email automatically with a link. In short, a cluster flight is smaller than a group flight. It's up to 40 people as opposed to a group flight, which is between 40 and 60. And a cluster flight, you do not have Nefesh B'Nefesh staff assisting you from the US airport, as opposed to the group flight, which you do both on the US side and on the Israel side. And a cluster flight, again, there's no Nefesh staff on the American side. There could be Nefesh staff at the airport in Ben Gurion, but it's not guaranteed. You will be greeted by staff from the immigration authority, and they're the ones who help you with the processing.
When do you anticipate September flights being posted? ASAP, they're ready on our flight form. We will make sure that they are on the website as well. Would you say the charter flight offers quite a bit of help as someone making Aliyah without much family there? It would be highly advised to try and take the August 19th one, or is the help from immigration authorities good as well? A group flight can also be great for you. That can be a good option for you as well. It doesn't have to be a charter flight. Nefesh B'Nefesh staff is on both of those. Even a cluster flight, I recommend being in touch with your Aliyah advisor about this. Okay. Anything else? Oh, yes, okay. There are no September group flights on your form. On our flight request form, which I sent to the people to send to book, there are September flights. I added them myself. I know they are there. It could be that they're not listed on the website just yet. We've asked them to, and it should be done very shortly. So yeah, Los Angeles, July 22nd flight. It would be good to make contact with others. Great. You should comment. You should join the Making Aliyah next year, Making Aliyah this year WhatsApp group, and you could find out which Olim are there, and you guys can contact each other. Okay. Anything else?
I'll just add the last anonymous question, the NBN support level for group versus charter. Again, we did cover this a few times, but I'll just say that a group flight, again, there's Nefesh support staff both on the American side and on the US side and on the Israel side, and they're with you throughout the process. When you go to Misrata Klita, when you're getting processed, you get your Tudat Zehut, you get all those documents. The charter, as Gila said, is the whole flight is full of Olim, so that's 200 something people. And there is a lot more Nefesh staff at the airport, but it depends on what you're asking support level, you know. Aliza can maybe give a little bit more information about that specifically, but it depends on, or Mindy, it depends on if you're asking about, you know, physical support or anything like that. Again, if you have specific questions or questions that were not answered during this Q&A, which I am very in awe to say that Gila, you have answered over 130 questions, also with the help of Aliza and Mindy. So thank you everyone very, very much. I want to be, you know, wary of everyone's time. So if there are any more questions, please send them in within the next 5 minutes. Otherwise, as we said, for the pet questions and questions that are very specific to your situation about upgrades and things like that, we ask that you email flights at nbn.org.il. I put the email in the chat. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to send a link to the pre-Aliyah planning webinar playlist on YouTube, where you can watch other pre-recorded webinars about rights and benefits, which might be very helpful if you're not familiar with that when you get off the plane, what your rights and benefits are, questions about healthcare, education, different communities, things like that. So I will share a link to that playlist in the chat.
Okay. Oh, Alana Rona, that's great. It's our pleasure. Be in touch if you have any questions. Okay, I'm coming alone with 3 children and one of them is special needs. Any assistance from NBN on the flight and after? Be in touch with us when you're ready to book your flight, and we can be in touch. We could be in touch regarding that. Oh, thanks. We really try our hardest to be as responsive as possible. We're just in awe of what you guys, that you're making Aliyah right now and in general, and anything we could do to help facilitate the process, we would be so, so happy and so honored. Okay, anything else? Can my daughter who's going to seminary join us on the group flight? She can, yeah, you would have to pay for your own flight, your own ticket for her, but she can absolutely join you. Okay. Sure. Anything else? It's our pleasure to help you. All right.
Okay, thank you so much, Gila. You are amazing. We're up to over 140 now at this point. And there were over 100 people on this webinar as well. So thank you everyone very, very much. Aliza and Mindy, to you as well. If anyone has any further questions, please email Gila at flights@nbn.org.il. We hope that your summer flight is successful, and we're excited to greet you on this side of the ocean. So thank you. Have a great week and a good night, good day, wherever you are.